Patterns are everywhere. When you start looking around and you start seeing how things work, you realize there's patterns to everything. Everything is not what it seems. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Mindset Monday, Acoustic Force Media Content Hub, live in Dallas. It's Iconic Messengers with your boy Pat Hilton, the most dangerous man in the game, Colt 45 Hall of Fame. What's my motherfucking name? It's my show, my rules, my game. Listen, patterns. When you start to observe behaviors, you start to observe business practices, marketing practices, how the world works, you see patterns, right? Like school zones. School zones, there's a pattern all over the country. You drive into a school zone, what happens? The allowed miles per hour for the speed limit drops significantly when you're in a school zone. That's an easy pattern to notice, right? When you go to a bar, normally the pattern is people drink booze at the bar. That, again, these might seem like common sense themes, but once you expand on common sense, you go to a gym, everybody's working out, right? People go to the gym to work out. It's pattern. So you have to think about people that think within a certain pattern or within a certain category display certain types of behaviors. And when you're in sales or marketing, you have to figure out how people think in a certain category, and does that align with where you want to go with your life and your business? Most of the people that are on this page now follow the page for mindset and motivation, marketing and client acquisition, and or because, let's face the facts, I post some pretty funny shit sometimes. And so those are my patterns. What are your patterns? And what are the patterns of the people around you? Because when you analyze what's going on in your life and what's connected to your life, all the people around you are connected. And their patterns are going to become your patterns if you're not careful. And if you don't analyze, audit, and align. You need to be in alignment with your goals. And that means you need to align yourself with people that have the types of patterns in their life that you want in your life. The people that I know that are the most ripped, that have the hardest six-pack abs and the best physical performance, have a pattern of eating practically perfect and working out every single day. That's their pattern. That's why they have a specific result in the physical category. They look a certain way because the pattern that they've created for themselves day after day after day, year after year after year, is a consistent pattern of success in the nutrition and physical performance / workout category. And so if you want to be successful in any category of life, you need to think about what types of behavior patterns do I need to create, marketing patterns in your business to get the results. Because there's so much talk about the results. There's so much talk about how easy it is to get the results. And I think that the formula for success is really simple. I think that the formula for achieving great things is really simple. But I think that the consistency and the execution is a lot more difficult than people think, because you get distracted, you get bored, you get this, you get that, and you get off your game plan. And that's where you start to make mistakes. And so if you can catch those patterns in your performance, then you can bypass the mistakes by not making the same mistakes twice, because you can catch yourself. And I think it all comes down to documenting it, analyzing where you're at and where you want to go, auditing, do a full audit the people around you. Now, I have friends that are still on this Facebook page that I stream to that will always be on my Facebook page, some of my best friends ever. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to necessarily depend on them to help me build a $10 million company when they've never done it before. Now, they can probably give me some great advice on certain things, but if that person hasn't displayed what it takes to build the company that you want to build, or the body that you want to build, or the marketing machine that you want to build, you got to be careful, because it's going to be very difficult for them to tell you how to do something if they've never done it before. And I think that with the internet, you can just say anything. You can do anything, and you can be anything. And sometimes people even believe it. And so you got to be careful. Number one, you don't want to believe your own bullshit. Okay? We all make this mistake sometimes. We'll go around thinking, oh man, I made it. Oh man, I'm good. I worked really hard for this amount of time. Now I can take some time off. You got to analyze your own and audit your own stuff more than anything else. Because the more you improve you and the more you dial in you, the better you're going to be and the more you're going to demand of the people around you. So I do a lot of live events. Big ones, small ones, huge ones, tall ones. And one thing I've noticed about the execution of a live event is it's way easier for the audience to get a specific result when you tell them what's coming. If you don't tell people what they're going to get, then they can get confused. So you don't have to give away all the secrets, but this is something for any kind of marketing or any kind of business or whatever. If everything is a big secret, well, then when you let the secret get out, if it's not really, really good, then people are going to be like, oh, well, that was lame. You're better off telling people what they're going to get before they show up. Especially when it comes to preparing people for what's to come. If you're working with people in any kind of capacity, you want to give them the analysis first. This goes right into it. Patterns. You want to create a pattern of here's what you get, follow-up pattern of here's what you're getting, and a follow-up pattern of here's where we're going. You always have to constantly be analyzing and auditing. I meet a lot of people and they've never run a company before. They're not like startup people. And they want to acquire real estate and make a portfolio that cash flows. And I think that's a great idea. But first, I would suggest that you start talking to some people that have done that before, because you got to be really careful just buying shithole properties, because you can lose everything on your first acquisition because it's a junker and you didn't have money to fix it. Now you're broke and you're out and you're screwed. So you got to be careful. You want to talk to somebody that's maybe wholesaled and that knows how to flip properties on paper first before you start doing physical flips. There's a lot of people I meet that want to acquire companies. They've never run a business before. Well, I mean, if you don't know how to run a business, you don't know how to operate a business, and you've never done any type of client acquisition or any of this, and you jump into owning a company, well, you're going to have to either learn all that stuff or put someone in place that can do that for you. Again, analyze what you're doing, audit what you've got, and then align for getting the results that you want to get. So, buying a bunch of properties isn't just going to magically solve your business or cash flow problems and make you financially free. Acquiring a company isn't magically going to make you financially free. It's going to give you instant cash flow and you can skip the startup phase, but you still have to make that thing work. And just like any other business on the planet, you could lose it all tomorrow. Everything could be gone in an instant if you don't know how to analyze what you've got, audit what's going on, and align for the future. There is no quick fix for anything. There just isn't. And we've even noticed massive private equity companies coming in and buying, restaurant chains and all these different types of tech And a lot of times they spend a whole bunch of money on something and then they lose their ass and they lose everything. I mean, Elon Musk bought Twitter, turned it into X, and I think that's a long-term play. I think X is a great investment for him. But again, this is a whole nother level. I don't think that he's really made a whole ton of money on X. He's probably lost money on it. And so I encourage you to think about all of these things, no matter what level you're at. If you're at the startup phase or you're at the, I just want to make $10,000, my first 10K a month. I remember that for me, wasn't very long ago. How do I just hit 10K a month so that I can build? I can bring in some team members. You got to analyze where you're at and be really honest with yourself and audit every single little piece. I'm still doing this now. We just moved into this new place. And I'm going through the same process right now to analyze everything that's going on, audit what needs to stay, what needs to go, and aligning for where I'm going. Who am I aligning with? What kind of stuff am I doing every single day? I want to be broadcasting every single day. The easiest way for me to do that is in this studio, which is Studio C in the Content Hub of Dallas. That's right. We've got 3 different studios. The Loft, the streaming studio, and the podcast studio, right? It's unbelievable. It's amazing. It's almost like we run a real business around here. And that's what I want for you guys. I think that people say 90% of businesses, startup businesses, fail in X amount of years. Why don't, instead of looking at how hard it is, why don't we just change the statistic by getting better so that 10 years from now, that statistic is 40% of them make it? Instead of 90% fail, why don't we be the 10% that make it, turn that to 20%, turn that to 30%, turn that to 40%. Now 40% of startups are making it because we're all helping each other and we're all spreading the word on how to analyze where we're at, take inventory, audit everything that's going down, and align for the future. Because if you are in alignment with your goals and you're executing every single day, dude, the chances of success increase exponentially. I think that's one of the biggest problems people have is they get into business or they want to quit their job or they acquire a company or they buy real estate and they think that's just magically going to fix all their problems. And then they realize you have to manage that, grow that, operate that. And they're like, oh, well, wait a minute. This takes work. Yeah, no shit. You want to be successful, it takes work. Unless daddy's writing checks for you, which 99.8% of people don't have, you're going to have to do the work. Plain and simple. And I think it's definitely time for us as entrepreneurs and as business owners to start having these conversations about how can we help each other within specific categories to connect with and get aligned with people that can help us reach our goals. We've got this platform, Facebook. There's billions and billions of users on this platform. And I scroll through and I see people arguing in comment sections about stupid shit like the Olympics or Kamala Harris or Donald Trump or whatever other bullshit, instead of us focusing on how can we impact each other positively. And I think that's the goal. I mean, the owners, right? The big corporations, the people that move the money, they want us divided. They want us arguing. Easy to conquer a bunch of angry people that are divided. Very easy. You just turn them against each other. How do we figure out how we can align with each other, analyze what do we got, audit, take inventory, what stays, what goes, and align for the future? And that's what we're going to do here on Iconic Messengers moving forward. So it is Monday. I'm getting my inventory checked off this morning. We got the entire Content Hub of Dallas built out, ready to go. We've got clients coming in this week to record, film, get their content produced and posted. And there's nowhere like this in this entire space. There's nowhere like this in Dallas. We've created this. A private studio where you can come and record your content and get it produced and posted for you. Done for you, 100%, where there's not a bunch of other people distracting you. And so that's what I want to create. And everybody needs to be on social media. Even if you don't post on social media, you're probably scrolling through social media. So are you a user of social, or are you a contributor to social media? If you contribute to the conversation, you contribute content, you produce great educational, informational, knowledgeable content, you are putting yourself in the top 10% of users, because the people who create content, percentage-wise, compared to the people that consume content, is way lower. You got a way better shot of growing your company on social media than using any other platform on the planet. YouTube is owned by Google. This video will be going up on YouTube. Mindset Monday. Going up on YouTube. And we're going to be going over strategies in our private community this week, where you can apply these same marketing strategies that I've used to go from singing in the corner of bars to speaking and hosting some of the biggest business events in the game. And the cool thing about it all is it's all on social media. You can see all the social proof because I've documented it all. And I'm going to get even better at documenting. I've got another little system, a portable mobile system that I'm building that I can take with me to do this anywhere. And I think that's really important too, is how do we document on the fly so that we can analyze what we've done, we can audit what's good, what's bad, what's going to stay, what's going to go, and we can align with where we're going so that we can get very clear on how to make those results happen so we can set deadlines and we can get it done. Because it's time to get productive. It's time to start using social media to get productive. I'm in some incredible investment groups and marketing groups and mastermind groups on this platform. I work as a marketing asset for a bunch of different people, top-notch people. And I've learned a lot by sitting in the rooms. I've learned a lot about what to do and what not to do. And one of the things that doesn't work is sitting around and writing everything down and reading all the books and doing all the trainings, but then not executing at all. Because what you're going to find is, well, cool, you did all this research and all this stuff, and then you ended up getting no results because you didn't actually do the work. And so part of alignment is doing the activities that you have analyzed and audited that you know you need to do, and so that you can make a daily task list every single day that you execute on. One of them for me is streaming. This thing every day, it's so comfortable in here. It's so vibed out. It's super dope. And I feel really comfortable with hopping on here and coming up with cool topics on how I can grow. And I'm sure it will help other people as well. So if you want to make it in the big leagues, you got to start playing like a big league player. And you have to be able to catch yourself, analyze, audit, and align with where you want to go. So ladies and gentlemen, if it is Monday and you had all these big plans and these changes that you were going to make this week, analyze at the end of the day, take inventory of everything you did, audit what stays and what goes going into it tomorrow, and align your actions with what's going to get you the results. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Iconic Messengers broadcasting live from the Content Hub of Dallas, Acoustic Force Media Studios. I am Pat Hilton, and we'll see you on the next one.